Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to another Wheelin' Wednesday. Welcome back to another installment of the Crawlympics. If my brain is working out okay, I think there's 28 guys on the leaderboard, which means this is week 8, 29 through 32. If this week shows us nothing else, it's that we name a lot of rigs our names. Our names definitely leading the board. We finish out ours today here in week 8. Last night, there's still some dampness on here. We had a it got down to 62 degrees in the overnight, and I had prepped everything to get out here as early as possible. So a sensation that has not occurred for me in some long moment, I'm actually a little bit cold right now because it is about 6:30 in the morning and I wanted to beat the heat and beat the sun, and I think we can get it to where we have no scalding shadows. Look how nice and even that light is. We've got the crew. We've got the 4. Is it a motley crew? It seems like every 4 is a motley crew. This one is no exception. Let's break them down. Let's run them down, and let's, as we always do, hope for the best. And look at that. Not a murderer's. Look at that insane lineup. Robokitty, Ruby, Rusty, and Scarlett. It wasn't just all R's last week in week 7. It was all RA. So we finish up with R, at least 7 R named vehicles, which means way ahead in the standings. Scarlett, freshly painted. We will get to see more of that later. It's been about 14 hours since she was painted. Another 1-hour paint job brought to us courtesy of a mixture of things. But as we do, as is tradition here, we break them down to left to right, moving in alphabetical order. At this point, it hasn't been done yet. We haven't done the B-roll stuff yet. So I don't even know if Robokitty will fit on the turntable. Robokitty barely fits on this table. Robokitty began as a Rift kit that I bought off of Woot. I don't know if that's relevant. And I tried the bouncer thing for about 5 minutes and was like, you know what? I'm not really feeling this. So thus began the work to turn this Rift into a rock crawler. The first step of that was doing no internet research to find out that Vader makes an adapter, so I could have just put a Stealth X in there and slowed it down, because the Rift gearbox has no gear reduction. Once again, if memory serves, 1.2 to 1 in low gear. And I want to say it's 0.7 to 1 in high gear. For frame of reference, an RTR Rift comes with a single speed gearbox, and it only comes with the high gear. 0.7 to 1 gearbox reduction. So in there now is a gearbox with internal 4 to 1 reduction. It is fitted with a 72 tooth Emax spur, and I think it's currently running either a 14 or a 16 tooth pinion, because it was originally at a 12, which meant, 1272 is 6 to 1, 4 to 1 in the gearbox is 24 to 1 before we get to the axles. It was actually too slow on a 2200 kV Outrunner, which is being run off of a Rhino V80, and that Rhino V80 is being fed 4S. At both ends, Flash Hobby 60 kg direct power. 5.75-inch full height J Concepts tusks on their stock foam inserts. I don't think that I've changed them. And they are on those absolute... Injora makes a beadlock that is an absolute tank. They also make it in a 2.2 version, and they are heavy. Trial axles at both ends to complete it, including the flip. Oh, did I mention? Yeah, I mentioned 2 servos. Robokitty is 4-wheel steer. Robokitty might be the least well-suited to doing this, even taking into account the 2 vehicles to her immediate left. The vehicle to her immediate left is Ruby, and Ruby is a fairly short description, as Ruby is an Element trail runner who has had the IFS-1 swapped out for IFS-2, has had the General Grabber, the 385 General Grabbers, traded out for Louise Mallets on some just run-of-the-mill 1.9 alloy beadlocks. There's a 1200 kV Fusion SE, And I want to say that the servo is a 32 kg AGFRC red case, the A73. And there you go. Other than that, she's an element trail runner. There's been really nothing done because there doesn't really need to be anything done. It is an enjoyable driving experience. It is our second IFS entry. It is the second IFS vehicle in the Canyon fleet. And aside from having small tires, maybe is different from the gentleman immediately to her left, Rusty. Rusty, our second vehicle of the competition, fitted with 3.93s. These are J Concepts Bounty Hunters. He is essentially a TRX4. He's got the inner fenders. He's got a 2-speed in there, but he's got not TRX4 axles. That's the hitch. So take a TRX4, right? The fenders, the rails, all the everything, and then put AR45s under it, AR45 straights. Now, the Traxxas gearbox also relies a lot on portal reduction to get it slow enough. So we were like, let's put straight axles on it. Fast forward about a year after that, and we replaced the AR45s with F10s. So, that's the Vanquish version of the AR45. It's basically it's essentially the same axle. He is running a big old 3248 Outrunner, a big Outrunner in 760 kV on 3S, because we need to do whatever we can to slow it down as much as possible. J Concept C10 shell on top with, of course, the blue fender and a venerable Amazon blue case, because he's never shown a need for anything more than that. So if you wondered what a small tire, straight axle TRX4 would look and act like, well, it's Rusty. Rusty is surprisingly capable on rocks, but probably not well suited to this. He's got a fairly long wheelbase for a 3.93 tire. He does not have the ground clearance normally afforded to a TRX4. As a matter of fact, it's an all straight axle week. I'd have to look, but I don't believe we've had an all straight axle week. There's been a portal slipped in there at some point. We round out the group with Scarlett. Scarlett built basically as an exercise in what ifs, because her axles are 10 Pro, but have 0 axial parts in them, sourced entirely from Amazon parts. The body is the cheap, what can be found on AliExpress for $13 to $15 FJ45 with an MST back from the J45C. They bolt together pretty well. It is not a high quality body. You get what you pay for when you spend that $13 to $15. Canyon Trails from a TRX4 on some little wheels we put together for her. They are on 3D printed inserts. They're the only 3D printed inserts in the group. The group goes foam, 3D printed, and Scarlett. Scarlett is very heavy. She is very heavy for what she is. She's running an OD3 clone gearbox, an EcoPower WP120T for steering duties, and again, second appearance today of a Fusion SE 1200. The Fusion SE 1200 is great. It's one of my favorite motor ESCs, not even just in a combo, is one of my, let's call it a power plant, is one of my favorite power plants overall. $69.99. Very robust, durable, works great. I put it in a lot of things because when you're speccing out parts for a build, it's really not difficult to spec out a build and go, okay, our servo is going to cost more than our motor and ESC put together. 2 Outrunners, wait. There he is. See him right there? I know he lives out here. He lives out here somewhere, because only in the early morning hours I see that guy out here like hopping around in the rocks. I don't know what he's doing, but he's got a little mohawk, and he or she has got a little mohawk, and that's pretty awesome. So I think today is going to be pretty awesome. We've got a group of 4, and I'll just go out and say it. I like to make those speculations early on. I got guys, I got nothing. All straight axles Robokitty is too big to live. Ruby is basically a stock trail runner. Rusty has an insane amount of speed. He has to run this in first gear. We haven't seen anybody with a 2-speed do well because the optimum speed to run Mavericks tends to be somewhere in between first gear and second gear. I would guess that I wouldn't guess. I'm gonna guess that the wild card here is Scarlett. I think the other 3 are gonna have unrelated but similar problems, let's say. So we just hope everyone comes out unscathed. We hope for a smooth running. The sun is now, if we look up right here, see, oh, here it comes. Here it comes, Malevolent Heat Orb. Can we beat the Malevolent Heat Orb? Who knows? We will do our very best. 4 RC4s in a row, 4 rigs in a row. You know what that means? Should we rhyme with the let's go? It means it's time to do the thing.
So I record almost exclusively on Canon, hit me up, Canon M series mirrorless cameras. I say almost exclusively because as you see Robokitty pulling here up to the line-ish, we go for right about here. Camera 1 is a Canon. Camera 2, which shoots from across the course, is my phone because Canon, for whatever reason, discontinued the M series out from under me before I could afford, yes, a 4th Canon M series camera. The one that serves the workbench is also a Canon M series camera. So if anybody has a line on a Canon M50, M200, they are economy grade. If anybody has a line. I was looking on Amazon, and the M200, the camera that you're seeing from right now, which I bought on Walmart for like $350 about a year and a half ago, is now like $800. So, such is the way of the world. Did I mention the course was watered down because of the spider webs? I watered it down last night because of the spider webs. I already forgot if I mentioned. I forgot if I remembered. I don't know if Robokitty is narrow enough to get over the teeter. We're going to find out, though, right about now. I don't know how much throttle to use. Okay, it needs 4-wheel steer, but, oh. Okay, hold on. Oh, I wish I had the capabilities. I wish I was more capable. Okay, Robokitty is big. I don't know if that showed up. Oh, 4-wheel steer, definitely. Okay, we're gonna try it. The risk in an environment like this of going to fits just fine. The risk of going to 4-wheel steer on this is that, oh, there's some weight, is that your back axle is going to, there we go. Your back axle is then going to be off center, and then you're going to pay the price of that off center axle. Okay. No, the worries about Robokitty were not firmly founded, I don't think. Yeah, keeping that back axle straight is going to be a trick. I don't think we're going to see a world beater of a time. What I do think is that we're going to see something fairly, you know what? Fairly decent? Mad decent? I don't know. Oh, yeah. There are plenty of folk out there that have converted rifts to crawlers. I am not unique in that in any way. But I will say this. There are also plenty of folk out there that have converted their rifts into crawlers and not converted them to 4-wheel steer. I could not. I thought that I had hosed. Look at, okay. So we are a leafy mess. This is, remember what I said a moment ago about if your 4-wheel steer gets out of whack, you can't go straight anymore? 4-wheel steer is not something that works with any amount of speed. Even a Mavericks, oh, the weight. So the Kitty is not the heaviest thing, that you will see out here. I think Jolly Green is and will be the heaviest thing in the fleet. I don't have any intentions of building anything more heavy than that. But I feel the weight. I feel the weight the whole time. Too tight there. Oh my goodness, though. The skewers don't exist to Robokitty. You know, if you don't have portals, you just run 575 tusks. And your brain... Oh, stability, though. The closest we've come to flipping over was getting a wheel caught underneath the teeter. Okay, she's about the width of the teeter. There we go. These are the time killers. This is the stuff. She's super stable. She's super planted. Everything's going fine. But once again, the teeter shows that it is not to be trifled with. You got to get in real tight here not to catch that axle. There we go. That saves like a second and a half. Another instance of not being able to link those segments. There's that rock. We will grab that before one of the Oh. Don't put any steering attitude through there. So noted. Yeah, I can't use any of the power. She's quick and bouncy. See, remember when I said we were crabbing over that? Crab was not what we needed. We do not, I can tell you right now. I mean, this is number 29, 29th time around. We're not seeing anything to threaten the front runners. Anybody else, possibly Jolly Green the exception, anybody else gets put onto their face if the teeter hits the ground that hard and their rear axle is still on it. Robokitty shrugged it off like nothing happened. Timer just started going off. Across the line. I don't know. Maybe it's a slow as smooth, smooth as fast. I don't feel like it was. That felt like... it felt a little Deadpool. That was a little bit of maximum effort. When you get up to a certain number of rigs, a fun thing to do is a little game I get to play every Wheelin' Wednesday, which is where are the power switches? I forgot to move that rock. So where are the power switches? I had to do a full 360 pirouette of Ruby to find her power switch. Oh, we must have hit 7 a.m. because here come the notifications. Here comes the sun. Ruby right there, pocket of sun. All right, you know what? Let's gabbin more something that rhymes with gabbin. Class 1s, IFS. I don't know. Oh, okay, hold on. Hold up, wait a minute. That Rock Pirate slider really stopped us there. I don't know, she feels okay. Okay, this is unanticipated. Oh, those sliders. Can we cut it back? Yeah, you don't quite get, like, the steer angle. Oh! Okay. We've already determined that a drop off of there takes about the same amount of time, so. If you have to breach back onto the course, you're not saving time. Little goose. Okay, she's surprised. She is and will be surprising me from here forward. Oh, Louise Mallett's pretty good. Took a rock to the instep. That felt great. Nice cut through there. Little nose bonk. Oh, you know what? Let's try right up through the middle. Right up through the middle is not the jam. You got to hug right there. Then shoot wide. Get a little goose down. She feels okay. Not stunningly fast, but surprisingly capable. In the fairly recent episode where we did IFS 1 versus IFS 2, and I was kind of disappointed because the IFS 1 had all the work done to it, and the Night Runner 3D printed bits, SDRC lower brass, all of the stuff in it. Like the performance, when we just swapped over to IFS 2, there was definitely a performance loss. That performance loss, though, well, is not here. IFS 2 is, as I said, even in that review, IFS 2 is better at everything. It is significantly better at this. Like a lot better. This is unofficially the part 2 of that IFS 1 versus IFS 2. Oh my goodness. She floats. Yeah. So, I don't know. I haven't even looked into it because, easily distracted. I don't know what the availability is, what the existence of parts is in terms of yeah, you got to do that many reverses. It's not going to save any time. The beauty is on these little hack job runs where we fall off the teeter or we shortcut around an entire corner. When it comes to running the times, it will be like 1 second slower than the lap that came before it. There are no shortcuts here. If you end up outside the pipes, it is going to add a significant amount of time. I consider it a pretty successful run if the hand of God doesn't have to come in, if the rig can sort itself out. I had thought, when we were doing initial structure, will there be a penalty for hand of God? And I was like, no. It's just the rig has to do everything reasonable to try to get unstuck on their own. If they are full turtled or fully stuck on something, we will help them out. And the amount of time it takes us to get to the vehicle, that's all the penalty you need right there. If you flip over, your time is not going to be good. Yeah, the loss of steering angle between just a regular Element live axle and IFS2, it's not massive. I think it might be enough because I think a rig that doesn't have to make these little cutbacks, like right there, real loose there, comes back, that was nice there. The sun has breached over the tree to hit me in the eye holes. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. I'm just thinking ahead to editing, to trying to get color balance. What are we looking at? 20 seconds remaining. It's a little too close to the cut. We'll pull right in. She wouldn't have made it. She would have made it right about the skewers and timer would have expired. I don't know how it will translate out in terms of overall things, but as I guesstimated, Rusty in second gear will be uncontrollable on this course, and in first gear, a little slow. But if nothing else, Rusty is a man of surprises. So he gets his 5 minutes just like everybody else. I'm honestly most worried about the skewers and the little spot that everybody gets hung up on by the tennis ball after the skewers. I think those are the two problem spots. Rusty, what do you got? You know what? First gear might be enough. F10 steer angle. Okay. Do you want to know? Look at that steer angle. Oh! This is not IFS 2. This is an F10 straight. Get over there. Get over there. Okay. So I had mentioned second competitor on 393s. The first was Lil Fella, the slowest vehicle out here. Rusty has so much steer angle that it doesn't matter that he has absolutely tiny tires. Oh, come on. I think if he puts a clean one up, he's right in the middle of the pack. He's not, you know, again, unless Scarlett plays her wild card, which I don't know what that is. Scarlett does not, admittedly, does not have a huge amount of wheel time. I think we're going to see some mid-pack finishes. Do I see a top 10 today? I kind of don't. Sadly, you know. Steer angle king. Come in. Brr up. Brr up. It's like he has dig. Oh, no. There is a chunk of the teeter loose on the teeter. Another board has fallen off the teeter. Teeter has gotten more angry. Now it's got screws. It's got screws sticking out the end of it. We're going to see how that shakes out. Rusty through this chopped up, broken section here like nothing. Once again, fairly long wheelbase. 393s. Oh, no. Rusty, no. Oh. Okay, if you're going to have a bad one, now's that. Oh, the slider's stuck. God, I hate rock sliders. Because largely, they don't. If there's anything for them to get hung up on, they absolutely will. Oh, my goodness. That tiny tire turn in. That loose board has moved about halfway down the teeter. We'll see if it can knock itself off. I said if you're going to do a bad one, now's the time to do a bad one. Oh, high-bellied twice. A 393 wants to be down in that, like, I mean, sub 12 inch. I would say 11, 11.4. All right, Rusty's best runs have... Rusty's best runs have already happened. Okay, we're getting down into the last seconds, bud. We'll just quiet it down. Take it easy. This is more what he excels at anyway. His second gear is for hooning around. In first gear, he's really comfortable around this speed. That was a bumper. I can't blame Rock Slider that time. Coming up. Ooh, that lurse board in the middle is a bit of a problem. Rusty almost got the balance. Okay, we got to remember, hit it with some pop. Hit it with some pop. There you go. He's got to pop through. The Bounty Hunter, Rusty, the whole package is just inexplicable, right? The Bounty Hunter is as LT radial looking as you can get, and the timer expires right as he drops in. What a guy Rusty is. It's so weird. Okay, this is certainly the biggest underdrive overdrive split that we've got out here. Rusty, I want to say Rusty's got like 10%. Ruby has the 12% from the gearbox. Robokitty has the, I think it's 10% if you get the 43 tooth for the rear, and that's it. This is an OD3, so this is 18%. This is the biggest overdrive, underdrive. She's also on a 465 Canyon Trail. Oh. Look at them. Go, bros. I know. I'm staring into the sky at geese, and the cameras, the microphones aren't going to pick those geese up. 5 minutes, final run of the day. Hey, make it through clean. I don't want to put too much pressure on you, but make it through clean, and we'll have had a clean Wednesday. Oh, she's like a whisper. Okay, immediately into the pole. Oh, with certainty and authority up there. Okay, through here. Nice. We know that line inside right there. Good steer angle. Did I mention? I probably didn't. Oh, I wish I had a camera right here. This is where camera 4 would be. Folks in the comments have commented in the past about how there's some video dead spots. Well, yeah. Mavericks is basically a square. So it's a little rectangle, but it's effectively a square. And due to the economy and Canon, hit me up, Canon, and Canon's choice to discontinue what they've discontinued when they did, we're filming a square with 3 cameras. Now, if we're filming a circle, we could get away with 3 cameras. It'd be absolutely fine. We would be, wait for it, triangulated. But we're trying to fill we're trying to fill a square with a triangle. It doesn't really work. I mean, I know it's not a direct mathematical translation, but you know, triangle equals 180, and a square equals 360. So we've basically set the cameras up, and we can't even set them up in a circle. Because like I said, it's not a full square, it's a little bit rectangular. And the problem is I have to walk it. Another person had asked in the comments, could there be a driver's stand? Not really. Because the driver's stand would put you in such a position that you would be able to sit, like, say the driver's stand is on, we are currently, the teeter runs east to west. So we are driving, oh no. Oh no. The teeter runs almost due west. So if we were to set up the camera on the eastern end, you would not be able to see the western end, and vice versa. So when we get blind here, where we tend to go out of camera behind the trees, if you were back here, you would not be able to see the backside of the little rocky section. I think Scarlett is loose. Nope. Something in there is loose and is bouncing around the vehicle. We will just, I mean, I can hear it. Please just don't let like the battery fall out. Little stuck. Surprisingly capable on these straight axles. Scarlett is looking great. She's doing great. I've also been thinking about doing some stealing. Oh, okay. That cost her multiple seconds 2 times. But again, this is mid-pack stuff. I think about doing some stealing. We're building Rainbird up. The Rainbird progress is going on right now. She was built all entirely out of Amazon bits. I think we could swap out the stock. Oh no! Get up. I think I could swap out the stock axle tubes, the black axle tubes, for her brass tubes, as Rainbird is getting lighter every day. And what I got to do is, as part of the Rainbird process and as part of the Scarlett process, I have to pull 2 sets of 10 Pro axles apart and weigh the bits. Because if we're talking just a couple grams one way or the other, we will make some vanity-based changes. I think Scarlett would look more amazing with black axle tubes. And if they're, if they add like 15, 20 grams, I think that would be handy on the old Rainbird. So we're constantly thinking ahead. Well, I don't know about constantly, but we're thinking ahead. I gotta say, $13 AliExpress body, painted mostly Krylon Fusion. We did the roof with a brush. That is, and I kid you not, that is flesh tone craft paint. It's get through. She tended to botch up right at the wrong spot. We are going to see, and this is just my speculation, we are going to see some laps really close.
So some surprises, I think. Well, okay, I don't think. I think maybe surprising to you, definitely surprising to me, was the just almost overwhelming consistency. And I state that hubristically because the editing of this will take place several hours from now. And then the time collection will take place after the editing is complete. That's how that works. I have no idea. But they all felt, I think, that we're going to have the closest group. Like every group up till now has had one guy that popped and one guy that dragged, right? And in the Junkbot week, in the Lil Fella week, we had really slow Buffalo Bill. We have the real back markers, the Lanterne Rouge. But today, I don't think we had that. I don't think we also had anybody crack the top 10. I couldn't tell. Scarlett felt good, but she didn't feel like she had that pop. I would love to be pleasantly surprised, but the top 10 is getting competitive. Do we have anybody left that I think is going to make runs? Maybe. Zorana is an unknown. The mullet hasn't gone. The mullet is going to go in a filler week. I will mention this now only for those, the truest Canyonites, the Canyoneros, the 404. You might have noticed that week before last, Old Blue should have been in the mix. But I was subtly convinced not to subject Old Blue to the savagery and combination brutality that is Mavericks. So we have a hole. We have a hole in the groups there. It throws us off because we had 44. So that's 11 weeks of 4 per week. So the mullet still doesn't have a name. Like, I don't know. I've had some decent suggestions. Joe Dirt. We've got some names. So the mullet is going to pop in out of alphabetical order, and I don't know if he needs to fill next week or if he needs to fill the week after. We are also going to go against convention. It will be next week. I've just made the decision. Executive decision made. The mullet will be running next week because we just got Scarlett is up there. So we're into the S's, and we do not have a lot of S names, which means we're going to go quickly into T, and that is where Tomax lives. Tomax and Zaymot are the twins, 2 builds that are built identically. I feel it is an imperative. It is a Canyon imperative that Tomax and Zaymot run in the same week, because who doesn't want to see that? They're basically one apart. Like, I think Tomax runs week 9 and Zaymot runs week 10. So we're just going to move, we're either going to move Tomax back or we're going to move Zaymot forward, depending on how it shuffles the rear end of the lineup. Following? Everybody following? Good, we're following. We are probably, especially if the weather keeps hanging like this, it's like 65. The sun has not crested over the stink trees yet. It's a beautiful morning out here in the canyon. We came out unscathed. I know everybody watches the racing for the wrecks, and we went wreck-free, but quality racing is what we got this week. And I need to begin the prep because we're less than a month out. This was week 8, so we have 9, 10, 11. 3 more weeks, which will get us most of the way through August, and then we go straight into deadline. And we are going to So I got 3 weeks to figure that out. Figure out camera placements, still see if I can harangue one of my kids. If I can get a kid to carry a camera, we're gonna get this close to the camera. Deadline will go. If I don't have to move tripods and rearrange stuff, if I can get a kid to hold this camera and just walk the course as I'm walking and talking, oh my, we could do groups of 8. Because typically a trip across Deadline, if done successfully, is 3 to 4 minutes. Know what I'm saying? We could really, really expedite. Talking about next week, because this outro is just to give time for the graphics to come up and tell you who ended up where. Eliminations begin in stage 2 at Deadline. And they're going to be big culls because we do Deadline, that's stage 2. We are going to do Green Line in stage 3. Back 9 is stage 4. Front 9 is stage 5. And that will pretty much eliminate most. We will get down to the finals. So I have not decided. The conclusion has not been made as to whether front 9, which are the red markers, will be the final, or if the final will be the blue course over here at Sultan's, because I still haven't made the course markers yet. And in defense of myself, I mean, it'll take a couple days, but there is a container about 100 feet to the west, full to the brim with concrete, which means right over, it's right behind the pile right here. If you went straight back from that pile, there's a hole in the ground where the waterfall is going to go. Inside that container resides the waterfall. I need to move as much of that as fast as I can, get it into place, put in my Lowe's order, probably. And, I've come to grips. There's other projects going on. We've got the live stream. There's no rush, man. It's just toy cars and rocks. But that waterfall, construction will begin imminently. And hopefully you'll tune in for that. We'll see what kind of coverage we have on that. Will we throw a camera down while we move rocks around and we build and we try to build a pond from scratch, which is something I've never done. The existing pond just has a drop-in liner. I don't want to use a drop-in liner. I don't know how to build a pond. I'll figure it out as I go. So I hope you will join us along for that. I will hope you return for future viewings of Crawlympics and whatever other shenanigans we might have going in the canyon. I thank you so much for watching this one. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. I hope that in between now and then you one and all do your very best to have a good one, everybody. We'll see you again here from the canyon on whatever day you choose to visit us again. Robokitty, Ruby, Rusty, Scarlett. Today was a good day. Come back and see us again real soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.